Nick, how are you? And welcome.
Hey, how's it?
Good.
We'll be seeing Chase and Kevin.
Yeah, maybe Chase might join us later. They are busy, video games.
That's funny.
They're on holiday now, so
Yeah.
so their time is precious apparently.
Uh,
Yeah. I wonder if I've got a dark theme here. Because
yeah, this is quite flashy on the eyes.
yeah, but not just that. Nicholas fell off. You went to check dark theme and then you disappeared, right?
Uh, I'm in the settings now. If I think I'm gonna disconnect temporarily again if I go back.
Is it there?
No, it's not. By the looks of it.
Yeah, I doubt it. You know why I was thinking that it would be nice to have sort of like a duck.
Yeah.
It's because so chat when it comes, um, it would on a white background it just disappears into the background.
Yeah. These Lego these P sets are hilarious.
Which ones?
The if you go to the settings you can change them. You get minions, you get spiders, you get Lego.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
that's for kids.
uh,
Yeah.
so weird.
But what's cool though is that I can actually change the text color.
Oh really?
Yeah. That's actually quite cool.
Okay. I'll be right back. Let me just reconnect. Oh no, it doesn't. Okay, cool. Top right. Alright. Okay.
Okay, let's try this. It will be blue or something like that. I don't know. We'll see when the chat comes. Okay, so what we want to deal with is how to deal with the Catalan. And you know, when you are lower rated, it's not really a big deal because no one plays it. But when you climb up around 16, 17, 1800s, some people start trying it out, and they're just aiming for a new position. So if you play d5, this is something that you might have to deal with at some point. So after c4, e6, knight f3, knight f6, the move that we are talking about starts with g3. And yeah, it looks innocent, but the problem with this kind of openings is once you make a mistake, you could be stuck in a cycle which you cannot reverse. You know what I'm saying? And just okay, at lower levels, you can get away with playing
Suboptimally.
yeah, without a plan and without knowing much, and someone makes it someone can make a tactical mistake and you'll be fine, right?
Yeah.
As you get stronger, it becomes a little bit difficult to pull off those things. Once you are lost, it's difficult. There's a champ. It's Kevin. So I think that it's good to know. It's just good to know, at least at a basic level, what you're doing. So bishop e7. There is a line I think we might have discussed where you go like an intermediate check here, and bishop d2, and there's a lot of nuances with that. It requires it to understand a little bit more, but I think sometimes it's really unnecessary for the level of players that you'll be preparing for to go into all that. Just a simple, sensible development move is fine. Bishop e7, bishop g2, and here castles. Oh, castles for black, castles for white. And I guess this is the first time where a move that's more committal is made, and that's knight b d7. And it's not the only move, but You could start with c6, but that's a commitment. Sometimes you want to play c5 all in one shot. But you definitely are going to have to develop the bishop to some sort of position.
Is it good to deviate of it?
The
c8 bishop.
Unfortunately, so if you go back here, you're so behind a little bit on the queen side that...
Is it just too slow?
Yeah, it's too slow. So let's say you go b6. Okay, so let's just make some moves on the board. So let's say you go b6 and your opponent goes knight to e5. Right? You can't take, because now the diagonal... Really, the Catalan takes its power from ideas like this. And you know, when you go bishop b7, he just puts more pressure on d5 because...
You can't take.
Yeah, because you can't take. He's going to play bishop g5. And these little annoying pressures are going to push you to make a mistake. You get it?
Yeah.
And that's what really White is hoping for in the long run.
He's hoping for black to empower his bishop.
Yeah. Like
stuff like that.
Yeah, to fall into that. But when you play knight bd7, if worst comes to worst, you're going to play c6. Make sure that this bishop doesn't become alive, right?
What if he plays c5?
What if... You mean black or white?
Black.
Instead of knight d7. Like if you go back here.
Yeah.
And go c5.
Yeah.
So this mistake, it's like opening up the position before you have really completed development. Yeah. And this, it looks innocent, again, at lower levels, because it's very difficult to exploit this kind of advantage. But so what would happen in that case is, normally the white players will play something like pawn takes d5. Now you have to respond to this, right?
Yeah.
If you respond with the knight, now they go e4 with a formidable center. Even if they end up taking on c5, again, they outnumber you for now in the center. And also they do it with tempo. And again, if we go, let's say, after c takes d5 and we take with a pawn, now white can comfortably take on c5, creating an isolated pawn, which you put pressure on. Again, imagine most of the time... Oh, chess is coming. Most of the time, people will lose these kind of positions. They don't even know why they lost.
Yeah. Simply a pure outplaying by the opponent.
Yeah, they wouldn't know, like, oh, I lost because of the isolated pawn. But this is enough to lose the game in this kind of positions. So that's why black is going knight bd7 before committing to moves like that. It's going to say, okay, let me get all my pieces into the position, into the game, before I decide whether I'm going to play b6, whether I'm going to play c5, and how I proceed. Now, this position offers white different ways to build up. So the good thing from black's point of view is that he's solid either way. He's gonna be solid, and his ideas primarily remain as b6, putting his bishop on b7, or maybe sometimes on a6. And if white puts the knight on c3, then c4 will be less defended, and he could have tricks with this pawn, sometimes capturing it with an advantage, and eventually you seek out to break with a c5. All right? If he can do this, then he's fine. So the best way to completely understand these kind of positions is to sometimes look at the games that arise out of them. So let's say after knight bd7, one of the main ideas here is queen c2. In this position also b3 is possible, but queen c2 is best met by c6. So now the onus is on white on how does he continue. So there's a straightforward plan where you want to push e4. So you start with knight bd2, and here black now goes b6 because he's sure that his d pawn is showed up enough, and if you take, he's going to take with the c pawn. You could play queen c6, but he's going to play rook b8 followed by bishop b7, and it's fine. So
Does black have any way of stopping white from playing e4?
I used to worry a lot about that move, but actually it's not as scary. So you could play e4 just on most of the time. You don't even have to take. You can play e5. You put your knight back and then you challenge that pawn. But you also undermine it with c5. So sometimes it ends up being a weakness. It looks scary, but it's not really that big a concern.
Do you treat it like you're playing the French sometimes?
Almost like it, because you know the French structure, you can allow a pawn on e5 and still be fine. In this position, it could even be a little bit better. So, for instance, here bishop b7. And, okay, the main game that we have goes b3. But to just show what happens after e5, you go 9 e8. And after knight e8, you've got the idea of playing knight to c7, followed by c5, which is the thematic plan. And you can see that his center is very good. The pawns on in the center for white are quite vulnerable. Yeah, counterplay is very easy here. It's fairly easy. You can play this position. And if they go b3, which is the main position I want us to look at, then we go rook c8. Now, there is a game, and this is what I want to do. I want to check this game in our database. There is a game, a Krasenko game here. Let's check. That's what I like about chess-base. You can find these kind of games. Okay, there's quite a few. It looks like Kate Hansen has played a lot of positions in this.
Do only like the stronger players play these lines?
The Catalan is typically common with stronger players than it is with weaker players, yeah. But there's this game that I actually wanted to look at that was played in this exact game, in this exact position, and white continued bishop b2 and black went c5. Okay, so far it's black is the one who's sort of trying to equalize or playing for equality, but he's not just waiting for white to walk all over him. So white takes on d5, we take, and he goes knight h4. So now he starts using the influence of the bishop on our bishop, and at the same time his knight is destined for a very good square. Okay, Kate took. Now imagine now there's another pin here. This was the whole idea of bringing the rook to the c file. Whenever the queen is on c2, this move gains in sort of importance. So it takes on d4, bishop takes on d4, and bishop c5. If you look at the different bishops, our bishop is less influential in comparison to his. So we want to try and see if we can remove it. Of course, he doesn't want. Now rook e8, increasing the activity of the rook with rook e8, and now knight f5, and we go g6. There is no point in entertaining this knight close to your king, so immediately you want it out. Knight check, and here king f8. Looks a little bit uncomfortable, but there is nothing concrete that is threatened. Now in this position, white made a mistake, queen b2. Now, why is this a mistake?
Well, you're not improving your worst piece.
Okay.
Is it because of rook e2 by black? Was that not? It's just.
Because of?
Is rook e2?
It looks like a one move. Let's say rook e2, bishop f3.
That's what I was
Okay. He's putting pressure on the diagonal. Yes, that looks like it. Looks like he is putting pressure.
Is then.
But it's not like a real threat.
Exactly, yeah. It doesn't look like there's a real threat.
So you're like reducing the activity of the queen just to go for a one mover.
Yeah, but let's look at it from a point of view of tactically. Does it actually work? Because one of the reasons why when your queen is on c2, why d4 normally doesn't work is because when you take on c3, you are attacking the queen in this particular case, yeah?
But I don't think you can play d4 because your bishop on b7 is kind of hanging.
Correct. But that's what we need to work out, right? Does it work?
I think so.
So let's say we go d4, right?
Yeah.
And he takes on b7.
Yeah.
And then we take on c3.
You're down a pawn.
Yeah?
You're down a pawn after
Then queen takes c3? Yeah.
You're down a pawn.
I understand that. What do we have?
More.
Well, black has black has most control of the files.
All
Okay.
pieces are more empty.
Although black is down material, his
It's
activity is up, right?
Yeah.
And whenever you see chances of something like that, it's worth investigating further. Because sometimes some truths just lie beyond where everyone stops calculating. You get it? Because that activity could be very important. So in the game, black played d4. Now we're going to see what happens. Of course, if you're going to take on d4,
There's no point.
That's just a worse way to do it than bishop e7.
exactly, yeah. So what happened in the game was he took on b7,
Takes on c3.
takes on c3. This is forced now, right? Queen takes c3,
Rook to c7.
rook c7.
And king g7.
After bishop g2,
Is king g7 possible?
Well, you just come back with a knight, knight g4.
No, but there's a knight. Oh, I hate that pen.
okay, in the game, he played knight e4. So yes, he sacrificed a pawn, but there's a few things that we need to check. What is this knight doing over here?
Oh, did he sacrifice?
It's not getting out.
It's not doing anything.
Yeah, if we play king g7 at this point, it
You
might
just-
not even make it out.
Might not see the light.
Yeah, but look at this threat, bishop d4.
So you have a double threat.
You can address both, but I mean,
You
not
can't address both.
No, if you have to, I mean, if you're going to survive in this position, you have to figure out.
how to. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, then you're asking for knight f4 or something.
Yeah, how do you deal with it? Because
Play queen c2 and knight f4 to damage structure at least.
let's say you played
Knight f4.
just to damage his structure.
But how do you go knight a4?
Well, queen c2, knight f4.
What do you mean knight F?
So
It
queen
takes
c2.
it takes both of our
Queen
knights
C2?
3 moves.
That's a big one.
Oh, you mean knight F5?
Yes. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, but okay. I don't think we have to attack it, but just the activity that's available in this position is kind of enough compensation, right? In the game, he played knight e4.
Okay, that's. Okay.
Oh, what?
Just knight takes e4
Wait.
first by black.
But there's a tip. No.
Knight takes
Couldn't
e4
white
first
play
by
like
black.
F3?
F3.
Knight
Uh,
F3.
no, but there's a. You're gonna still lose the exchange, right?
Let's just
If
play
you played
queen
F3,
f3 is thinking.
You're saying
No.
knight F3,
Yeah.
like this.
yeah.
And and
Okay.
then take by black on f3.
If
And then queen takes.
if it takes, the queen will take.
And then
And-
king g7. Oh
Oh,
no!
plus
but
two,
Then
you're
knight
preventing-
can go back, right?
Plus, you're preventing that pin on the queen and rook.
Correct, yeah?
So
Okay.
knight f3 is the move.
Hmm?
So knight F3.
Knight F3. It's so obvious.
No.
I don't think it's the idea.
No, wait.
Uh-huh.
No, but they would have played it then.
Yeah, I'm saying it's so obvious. I don't think they would have missed it. Look,
What about king g7 first?
yeah, but okay.
Queen d6,
Queen D3.
d3.
Just an uncomfortable move.
Yeah. And
Okay.
if we take, we can't take the knight. We have to take here, right? Knight takes. And the knight here is still trapped. It's easy to get it out, but
It wastes too much
it wastes
time.
time, yeah, for you to get it out. So
I
this,
was thinking it was a mistake to go to h6 in the first place.
yeah, it looks like.
Oh, it was.
In the game, he played knight e4. And black took on e4.
Bishop takes
Bishop takes on e4.
bishop d4.
And this allowed
Wait.
black to play.
Earlier, I think black might have won the knight somehow, though.
Which knight?
So knight on h6 if they went that line.
If they went?
Remember knight f3?
Mm-hmm.
Knight f3.
I guess that's really the critical idea, right?
King g7.
King g7 you take on.
Then
Take on-
bishop,
take
then
on-
bishop d4.
Okay, king g7. Knight takes.
Bishop to d4.
Bishop d4. Queen d2.
Bishop takes e5.
Bishop takes e5. Queen
You're
takes
collecting the
e5.
knight on next move up.
You can't take. You lose your knight.
Oh
That's-
yeah, of course.
that's what I
Oh,
was-
that's what you meant.
Yeah, so you can't really play queen d7. And the rooks,
You can play queen d2.
queen d2, sorry.
Okay. Bishop
You
d-
can, but I mean,
You lose a knight after it.
yeah. I mean, that there's you just move the queen after bishop e5. Like, I don't know.
Go. What if we just go queen f3?
Bishop takes e4 and you're attacking the rook and the knight.
Bishop takes e. Oh, you're still attacking the rook. But now I've got rook d1, right? And then I can perhaps escape with the knight like this. So let's say
No,
queen c8.
c8.
I go.
The knight's being collected on the next move.
Mm.
Still.
So it wasn't as simple as it looks, right?
I still think knight h6 was a mistake.
It was, I agree.
But I'm sure.
What if?
Okay, so
You're still collecting on the next move.
after knight to e5, do we have to take? We can play rook d1 first.
Knight takes with check.
Knight takes with check. We play with queen.
Okay, queen c8. Welcome back to my...
Ah, no. Sorry, we don't have to play queen takes. We
You
play
can take with the bishop.
bishop
Bishop.
takes,
Queen c8.
queen
And
c8.
now, if they take our knight, we can take
Oh.
their knight.
We've got
Okay.
this pin actually. We can go knight
Yeah,
g4.
that too. That too.
Still have the pin. Because I like how you said that too.
Yeah. It is complex, but you can appreciate why maybe even if he made a mistake, why he would make a mistake in that position. It's not straightforward. That after knight f3 you're gonna be able to hold the position too.
So he doesn't see that.
Yeah, and I can appreciate that maybe in this position temporarily you could even think that maybe I can exchange the bishop, which seems to be much stronger, for a rook, which I might not be able to use in the position right now. You get what I'm saying?
So it's like seeing. Okay.
But that kind of wrecks your endgame odds.
Yeah, unless you think you can win in the middle game,
Bishop d4. Is it?
right? So he went bishop d4, and white went check, and now king g7,
Collecting your debts.
and white played rook a d1.
And can you take
It
an
is a-
h? Can you take an h6 with your king and collect your debt?
Collect your debt. Okay, rook a d1.
King takes h6, hopefully collecting your debt. White still owes you.
It's not really the kind of position you want to play.
Well, I mean, you do have bishop takes f2 if you're trying to win,
No, king takes.
and well, you're back with your pawn. You have activity.
You mean
Like-
give up a bishop?
Well, you mean white lose the piece?
No. There's a better ways of doing this. King takes h7. Like let's see objectively
King
what
takes
happens.
h6.
King takes h6.
Queen d2 maybe.
Ah.
Oh yeah, queen d2 just winning back the material.
Yeah. I guess I saw. Then knight c6. No, first.
No. There's a beautiful move here. All of you. You can yeesh.
If it's bishop takes f2, I already said that.
It's not bishop f2.
It's just making.
93.
No.
Wow, that's really beautiful. Except he loses a piece.
Queen
No,
f6.
but you,
Are you trying to sabotage Nick?
Is it queen f6?
93.
Chase will slow clap your moves just to see you crash and burn.
93, rook d3, rook e4.
Oh wow.
What about bishop
Bishop
takes?
d3.
Ah, d3.
So you remember the rook, but
Is that a dog that you are holding, Nicholas?
Oh
It's
no,
a
this is
hamster.
just my really realistic.
Are you trying to impress the ladies?
when
I didn't see it. His own. I'm like, does he have a ferret on his flap?
it's not his fault. It's not his
Have
fault.
you seen how loud that thing is?
Yeah, think.
I think of all the whitest thing you've done, this might probably top the list.
Go on Nick's side now.
How big is that dog?
Very small actually.
What is it?
Like, it is a Pomeranian.
Jesus. If you said to me, what was the word?
Huh?
What was the word? What's the name?
Frankie.
A what?
Pomeranian.
If you had told me that, if you had told me, I would have guessed maybe it's a fruit.
By the way, coach, it's rook d7, isn't it?
Yes. It's rook d7 before Nick distracted us. Oh my
You know,
god.
it's before he suggested knight to d3.
Now rook d7 is strong because it threatens bishop f2 check. You see,
And it'll be mate in 50.
bishop f2 check. Yeah, so the knight is too on pre. Sometimes you don't have to capture a piece. It's just the inconvenience it
I'm
creates.
capturing on the next move.
Yeah, if you can.
No, I will.
I've been so concerned about going to h6 with your knight anyway. So anyway, in this position he goes what is it? Knight, rook to d7.
Nick aside, knight h6 is something you might do though.
So white,
Oh, no, I didn't want
white
to do it.
takes on f7.
Should we guess the move again?
No.
Bishop takes f2.
No, bishop f2 now doesn't really work because the knight actually attacks the
And the bishop
the
attacks the
queen.
king.
yeah, but king takes is
What if you took with the rook? Won't it like push?
Oh, and
Put
you
pressure.
give up the d file attack.
yeah, you still you want to maintain this threat and pick up this rook.
Bishop d5.
Bishop d5 check. I think if you do this, am I?
Black's taking.
No. If
Black's
you,
taking.
yeah, he takes with the
Yeah,
rook.
rook, and
Yeah,
then
there's
pawn
an-
takes, queen takes. This mating strategies.
No, but actually, there's like okay. So let's say, for instance, this would be very interesting. Of course, they wouldn't play this move. The move that they played was queen b5. But let's say
Bishop
this
d5.
movie was Nikaside's movie.
Yeah. I didn't say that.
Rook takes, pawn takes, and then
You
queen
can't
takes.
take the bishop on d4.
That's the point,
You
right?
can't actually. You lose a minor piece at the end. You literally do. And you can't play f3 either.
Yeah,
because the
because of the pin, eh?
And you're threatening knight f3 and stuff like that.
But let's say someone took here.
Oh no, don't even have to go that depth. Knight f3.
But what if you just take first?
That's also considerable. Okay, play knight f3 first.
Knight f3, check.
And then you pick up the rook with check, which has to be
Yeah.
And then you still have got the mating attack.
Yep. And once
Ooh, this actually hurts. Because now if he decides to go here, he-
knight e2 checkmate.
yeah. Okay.
Wait. Then couldn't you do that in the first place?
It's a force. No,
You could have done that in the first place.
You have to sack the queen.
No, first you have to.
Oh, you have to take the rook first.
You have to take the rook first, yeah.
But you
And you
can't.
sacrifice.
Okay, but let's say after
wait.
check.
Leave Nick aside. He's doing a Levy Gluckman, okay?
No, but this one is a double. No, it's not a double check, right? You could play f3. It's still lost, but
Rook e7.
rook e2.
Sorry if this makes any more noise, by the
I
way.
can't confuse the numbers now, okay?
We're gonna discuss the dog obviously afterwards.
Yeah, that's a good
There's
point.
a lot of things that
That
I need to unpack.
And Nick aside has been betraying us this whole time under our nose.
Can't believe he's been impressing the ladies with the dog.
Like, why?
It won't surprise me if I see him in the park.
On a bench with some coffee?
Okay, good. So queen b5.
How does that stop bishop f2?
Okay, in this particular case, when you take on f2, he takes with check, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because of the king position. So bishop f2 doesn't really work.
Okay. Say no more.
Your mic just literally bombed us.
Yeah, there's something happening with your mic. It's like,
No, maybe it's the...
Hello?
no, it's fine. Don't say hello anyway.
We can hear you.
What do you mean?
No, it's fine. It's there's something wrong with your mic, but we can't.
No, maybe it's literally the
Like it's so close to you, we can hear you breathing.
Oh!
But now you're far away.
No, but you can still hear me, eh?
No, we can't really.
But don't put it literally in your mouth.
Yeah. We'll send it.
Your mic is insane.
We'll send the tutorial. Okay.
Kevin, speak of that book.
Queen b5, and the king first goes to g7. It's interesting, like it's almost like an exercise in solving problems to execute what you want. He wants to play bishop f2, so he gets the king out of the way. It's very simple. And now,
Also preventing
You
bishop
should
d5.
just hand it.
correct, yeah. So he goes king g2, gets the king out of check.
Making sure he doesn't run into what we did earlier.
Yeah. The knight also could be an annoying thing here. So
Yes.
he goes king g2.
Don't
Now,
play bishop f4.
bishop c5. He's up material, so he just wants to simplify if he can.
Why?
Wait, how does he go from down a pawn to up material?
It's just so much activity that knight wasn't escaping h6.
The knight
Oh, yeah.
on,
Yeah.
remember
I,
the knight on h6?
I think after g6 earlier on, Black needed to make just to sort of come to terms with the fact that he might have just made a mistake and retreat with his knight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that was the most important position or critical position.
A lot of people can't admit defeat like moving backwards after the thing and admit it was a silly move.
Yeah, I think that's mainly because chess is also a psychological game, right? So here, that's where he had to maybe, but there was no easy way of also making that retreat. I mean, imagine playing knight e3, bishop e3, and you've just lost a pawn, and the position is worse.
And the position's dead.
Yeah. Or maybe he could have gone knight h4, but it's not
But
really.
in that position, there is some tactics that are not fun to deal with as black.
Correct, yeah. There's also some action on the c file.
It's too complicated to have an immediate win.
Yeah. Okay, but at that point he needed to make up his mind. But here now, the task is on black to see if he can convert and
You should
change.
be able to, right?
Yeah, I mean this position looks almost won.
Hopeless.
Yeah, so bishop to c5, and of course white doesn't want these exchanges. The one thing about strong players is they don't break easily, even if you are winning. You still have to prove how.
That's what happened with me. I was down a whole rook in an endgame.
That's different. Don't
So he had 2 rooks, I had 1 rook.
in the what?
Yes.
That gives an indication of like the kind of opponents that you're dealing with.
Hey,
That
don't turn me to a nigga side here.
No, nigga side is games. At least nigga side is weak, right? But he knows that the people that he's playing are also weak.
Oh,
Right?
yeah, he is.
I don't think I know anything, and I think what else to think of my moves. I'm just like,
Make a move and hope it's fine.
Okay,
I didn't see that. Okay, this is
that level is unacceptable.
Oh yeah, you're like me.
Okay, so these positions, people take them for granted when they're training, right? What should you do?
What do you mean? That's black.
We haven't been reading the chat.
We'll add you. What's his name? Jem Beneptro. We'll add you.
What does he say?
It's a lot to read, and
Please explain.
and as you know, this term Kevin and Chase struggled, so they can't read also.
Hello,
So-
what's up?
Okay, no, we'll read that afterwards. We'll add you, James. Okay.
His username is Sparkles.
Your student, one of your students.
No, not James. Not that James. Not James. Not James
Sparkle.
Wilson.
Wilson.
Yeah.
Not James Charles either.
I was with James throughout our.
Yeah, I saw the
Our
George
tour.
thing.
So there was a day, me and James and David and Logan.
Big for us all, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey Saiba, how are you? Welcome. So we went to these clubs. These were hard games, man. Like we played for James and the school students. It was very hard. It was a
For
difficult.
you, it was easy.
Oh, they're club players. I'm used to them. You know, like the kind of players who don't give up and like they want to win at all cost and stuff like that. So for the students, it was hard, and it was good experience also. So we spent an evening playing this club competition. It was really nice. Anyway, back to this game.
Our
So
club plays around like 1760.
yeah, those kind of players, and they play well, and they've got a lot of experience. So you can't just dismiss them. All right.
They're like everlasting competition.
Yeah. What is your priority in this kind of position? If you are playing black.
To
Convert to an endgame.
convert.
Well, you want to go to an end game,
To
but-
convert.
but at the same time, white seems to have some sort of
Pawn baron.
yeah, his pawns are very strong, and
So-
he could push you back also.
So you want to win a pawn.
Okay. There's many guiding ideas. One of them is that whenever you have a position like this, you have an advantage, but it's not enough, right? if it's less than a rook, you're trying to win more material. If it's more than a rook, you try to checkmate your opponent.
How can you just simply win more material?
No, I'm saying that's your objective. It doesn't mean your opponent is going to allow you.
You simply have more pieces to simply attack.
Yeah.
You attack with your extra piece until you win more material. You use the material to win the game.
Okay, but in this case, white has compensation for this material, for this exchange.
Yes, a 3 on 2 on the queen side. He actually has a 3 on 2 on both sides, which is...
He's the 2-3-2.
So one of the threats that he could pull here is b4, right?
But the last thing you want to do as white is trade pieces.
Well,
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're either drawing or losing.
So here he goes a5.
Is white still trying to win?
Black is trying to win.
Oh, white trying to get a draw.
Yeah, he's trying to hold the position. So white goes h3.
Can black play queen f6 or something like that, or rook e7?
Rook e7.
I'm just scared that rook e7 runs and moves like bishop f7.
Okay, so here bishop f7 would not work because of check.
Taking in 4 different ways.
Yeah, so the check is actually very
but
important.
does he get in a perpetual?
No, because the next move when the queen comes, we could come to b8.
Okay.
And then it's fine.
Is the b8 square better than the t8 square?
Well, you'll be trying to win, right?
Yes.
So you want to make some sort of progress.
Okay.
So after rook e7.
And is bishop c6 possible? Attacking the queen?
That queen is very stuck.
No, but it's not possible. So in that case, I might be interested even in knight takes.
Okay, and
Rook takes, then
queen?
knight takes.
What do you mean, bro?
That's a big tactical gamble.
But if you play knight,
Okay, so let's go back a little bit.
I mean, the rook and knight versus queen.
So we are saying rook here.
Balance. It's a lot better for the person with the queen, depending on how many pieces there are. I feel a lot of pieces, then the person with the queen is happy.
You also have to give up a pawn.
I don't need to
Risk that.
No, I'm wondering.
White's trying to make it as tactical as possible, so like anything.
This is an interesting idea.
Does it look okay?
But is it the right idea?
I don't know.
Even if it's not, it's just making black's conversion life harder.
Yeah.
That's,
You're challenging black a lot.
You're giving him
A run for his money.
Yeah. But what I was thinking, the reason why it might not work is because of the weak diagonal after the exchange of the bishop. I was thinking of giving back material, but it doesn't really make sense.
97?
It's a possibility.
Oh, I know what coach is saying.
But then, no,
The
knight
diagonal's
d7
too weak.
doesn't work.
The diagonal's
So what I was saying is that you just, just get out of the way.
But black's up material anyway, and the diagonal's too weak.
Yeah. And then go something like this.
And queen a8.
And queen a8 is a... You know what I'm saying?
It's almost like you made a sacrifice, but you get the position.
The position is better. The rooks are kind of useless in this position. If he plays f3, he might have a very weak position.
Found a good improvement in this lesson. No one is saying the word but.
Yeah.
You remember last time I was telling you guys. I was literally.
Charles, but
Carlsbad. Okay, the reason why we're analyzing crazy variations is because here he played the rook e7.
That's smart. Avoiding bishop c6.
Just avoiding the complications of...
Avoiding pressure.
Nikasa, did you rest?
Bed.
You look tired.
I think he's just tired.
Rook f1.
I went to bed 5 a.m. 2 days ago.
What?
Oh my god.
Oh, it's Nick's side we're talking about.
What were you doing?
It's Nick's side.
So you went knight d7, a3.
For all we know, it could have been Thea, but Carlsbad.
Yeah. Rook e1. rook e1, and now queen f6. So in a few moves,
White is getting delivered.
yeah, black has made some progress, I would say, in this position.
That's a lot of progress.
He's forced to make a concession such as a5.
After
also.
white plays rook f1 or rook e2, this knight
Rook
e5.
e2 is much more active.
Knight e5 is threatening rook takes d5 even.
Yeah, this is a very good move. So he goes knight pawn f4.
Cinema of the game.
Knight goes to c6.
Who's Nicholas Chuck?
So this prevents
Now
b4.
what, black has knight d4, doesn't it?
The queen is so useless.
Well, it's called smothered, mate. It's Smith's smothered queen.
The queen is useless, I must say, in that position.
How did it get there? Okay.
Eh?
I know how it got there. It thought, hey, let me play.
Yeah.
Nick said, I know how it got there, I'm serious.
What?
You wanna know how white got his queen there?
Yeah?
It's like, hey, I want to play like Nick's side. It's like, oh, let me make my queen useless. And then now it's queen on a5. Or e5.
Okay, I don't make it useless, I sacrifice it.
So
Okay?
he goes b4. This, I think, is in an effort to activate
It failed.
the queen. So
Pawn
white
takes,
takes,
knight
takes,
takes.
and knight b4. It goes queen a7 check.
White failed miserably at this attempt. Oh, never mind. Jeez, white is actually making black's life hard.
Yeah, it's not that simple. And I appreciate this kind of game because the games are like that. The real games. They're never
Let's just keep
smooth.
on trying.
They're
Yeah,
not,
they're
they're
never
not like
smooth.
Lee chess games.
Yeah.
They're rough.
Even when you're winning, you're not really sure. Like, if am I really winning?
Especially in the night of, that's the worst part.
Yeah, all sharp kind of positions. So now here you have to deal with g4. I'm not sure why he rushed this. Did he have to rush it?
Yes, he did, to make black's life very hard.
Can't he just take on?
That's the only move he can do.
Well, it's not what was played. So why didn't he play this?
Because he thought to myself, Nicholas said, you're not gonna like the spot.
Why would he do that?
I know, huh? He didn't want rook f2.
No, rook f2 is queen f2.
There's a bishop on c5.
Oh,
Because it's not so stupid after all.
just check it out.
I think the reason why he didn't want, he wasn't worried about queen f4 is because of bishop g8.
Oh.
Wow.
I'm sure you could refute it, but it's when you're about to win, this is not the kind of move you want to allow, right?
When you're about to win, you're not trying to play a knight off. When you're about to lose, you're playing a knight off.
In the game, he took on d5. Just remove the bishop.
As it only did not work.
But what I don't get is, very smart. I was worried after rook d5. Okay, white took. So my concern all this time was g5, and his solution was rook takes.
That is the simplest win I've ever
Why?
seen.
That's not surprising.
Yeah? It's not, but I didn't take it into account. You know, like when you calculate, you have to calculate it here.
You don't calculate it from 10 moves, you start calculating.
Yeah, after c takes d5, he took on f4. So it's interesting because,
There's now no bishop g8.
yeah, this bishop was very strong here. And
It was worth a rook.
especially anchored by the pawns, yeah. And with this exchange sacrifice, he balances it out that he is a pawn up with a better exchange.
So basically now knight d3 is coming with moves like knight e1.
Yeah. Also, the pawn on d5 is under threat right now.
Knight e1 is possible right now.
What?
Knight e1. If the knight was an e1 right now, it would be good.
He goes queen d7, protecting the pawn,
Knight d3, please.
but actually knight c2.
Crush my dreams is queen e4.
Game over.
Knight e1 is the move you want to play though. In the end.
I see your idea,
Yeah.
but here he just resigned.
He just saw knight e1.
Okay, Nick. Anyway, when we were speaking to you, we received notice of load shedding. So,
What?
I think.
Yes.
No more video games for you, ne?
You had to.
okay, but this is one way. I mean, the most important part, seeing the game, how the way the game was handled is important. But I think the valuable part when you analyze the games is to see the nature of play after the theory ends, which I feel is after e4, b3, rook c8, here, c5.
I bet you this game was played in like 1994.
This game was played when?
I can bet you it's like 1994. I read it, of course.
You saw it on the chess base also.
Yes! I was just waiting till you realize, like.
It's quite interesting how they think they're smart.
I think I just can see.
If there was no knight on f6, then knight g5 would have been very nice.
Okay, I didn't know this is how you guys think.
Don't include me because it's not.
During the game, we were like, oh, I wish the knight on f6 wasn't there.
I don't wish. I do. Okay? I don't wish. I do my own.
Okay,
stuff.
Nick, thank you. And I can see you're also tired. We can catch up on the next. We'll look at another idea with b3 when we speak next.
Nick, don't play knight d3 ever in your life.
Knight d3.
Nick, these kids.